right, bitches, let's get you in stitches. How you guys doing? Happy Friday. I'm back in the chair. Good to see you all. Welcome to James True Live. I'm James True and I'm live. Sorry, some fuckers who don't be alive. I hope you're doing well. Beautiful day. I believe it's Labor Day weekend. It only took me till yesterday to figure that out. So, there you go. Yeah, let's frickin' let's do some stuff. I almost said let's get into that. Oh, fuck, I just said it. Damn it. Oh, me. I thought I was out of the woods, but it pulls me back in. Not Ani DeFranco. Philip DeFranco, what is wrong with you? All right, picture a dystopian capture for futuristic libertarians sighing at a desk thinking, holy fuck, what is going on? Where's AI getting its facts, you might ask? And the answer is Reddit. Reddit, 40.1%. Wikipedia, 26.3%. YouTube, 23.5%. Google, 23.3%. Number 4 there, G. Really having some trouble when you're just barely above Yelp, am I right? And then you got Facebook, then you got Amazon. Then you go into TripAdvisor. Then you got Mapbox, you got Vision Quest, MapQuest, Instagram. Walmart has made the top list of where AI goes to gather its factorinos. If you've been paying attention, there are no such thing as facts. This is petrified belief that we use to build a model that makes us feel better. So we harp down and say, this must be true. And when you say this must be true, it makes you feel better. It gives you a little clench, down there. And you're just like, oh yeah, I freaking know what's going on. Then other people are like, oh my God, you know what's going on. You're like, fuck yeah, I know what's going on. You're just lying. But it's more than lying. You're tapping into the group torque, to the group think. You're asking the group, hey, are you guys cool if I say this is true? And some people are like, yeah, go for it. Other people are like, don't you dare fucking say that, right? And it's just a war. It's just an out and out war for mean. It's the meaning of meaning, which is really, I think, maybe a better title for this, but I changed it to the quest for Meaniocrity because sometimes I do that. I change things. So that's what we went with, the quest for Meaniocrity. And first thing we need to do is actually kind of explain mean, because a lot of you guys are still objectivists that are new to this channel and you're having trouble lifting up the weight that there's no objectivity. And this might help. This actually might help. So let me make sure I've done this right. I'm going to first talk about, we discussed where AI gets its facts. Here's the sources for this. There are top domains cited by LLMs like Chatbot and Perplexity. This is a study, just came out June 2025, so it's pretty fresh out of the oven. Pretty fresh. I know you guys like your fresh news. Fresh news, they say. So there you go. This is not bad news. I know some of you are like, figures, proof of what I was thinking now is here and I feel better and I'm doing it too, but watch how I'm doing it. I'm pulling a twist. This is a double gainer, triple axle back twist because I'm telling you that I think this is good news. I think AI knows where to find truth and it goes to Reddit, not because truth is there, but because truth is found in mythology. That's what we're going to talk about today. Truth is found in mythology. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The fine line between mean and want is mythology. And it is a very accurate predictor. I would say more accurate predictor than what we're about to discuss, which is why I wrote a presentation called The Oracle of Mythology, which you can see, and you should check it out if you don't know where to find it. Too bad for you. You're going to have to ask people. You should join Patreon for free. Go in the chat. Go, hey, does anyone know where the Oracle Mythology is? And people will make a joke because they'll be like, which version are you talking about? Then someone else will be, don't bring me that low-ass, glyphic, dead-ass, man, Oracle. I want an unfollow, Susan. Any, not an Audi, man. I don't need no Audi unfollows. I'm looking for an any. And you're just like, seek that which you find. And it's a fun place. You should check it out. Patreon's free. You could join for free. You can do that. You could join it right now. I don't mind. I don't mind you multitasking, you badass, disassociated mind freak. Do 2 things at once, 3 things at once. Look at that. It's great. Schumann resonance away. So I think mythology is better. I've said this before. I think that if you understand mythology, you really are looking at a truer look at reality because it's not tainted by this falsity that we give, which is, well, the truth is outside of me. And it's actually not. You're tapping into the torque as much as you can. And I say good for you. I say good for you. And kind of makes you think about this. In the long from now, not the long ago, in the long from now, we will probably be looking back at this era. Archaeological remains will be found. And we will notice that there's a high prevalence where we consulted the Oracle of Walmart and MapQuest. I'm not making it up. It's right here. Look, Walmart and MapQuest. 9% are Walmartians. The other 9% are MapQuestians. So there's Pythagoras. This is basically the Pythagoras of today. The Pythagoras of today is a combination of Walmart and MapQuest arguing. Walmart, famous quote, "The soul is a supercenter of savings." And MapQuest, "The alternate route is 23 minutes faster." This is the wisdom of the day, our philosophia, and we consult the oracle through a latent screen, an Asch black mirror that allows us to consult the oracle without having to get in a boat and go there. So I think in the future we're going to see that people are going to look back at us and go, "Wow, this guy's really leaned into their Walmarta." The Walmarta, and there'll be dialogues that are published and things like that, and it'll be a good time. They'll laugh at us going, look at those guys. But don't worry, who knows what kind of retarded shit they'll be doing in the future. Seriously, guys, it doesn't get actually less retarded in the future. What happens is you have more budget to be retarded. That's really all that happens. The more advanced a society gets, the more budget it has to be retarded. I know a lot of us sort of had expectations that we need to advance so we will remove the retard. And that's not what's happening at all, guys. The retards usually are the ones that get the mansions. They get the mansions because they are more willing to, I think they're more willing to follow the mean. I think they're more willing to follow this idea of what the mean is, the quest of Meaniocrity. You know, some of you still clinging to objectivity could use this to let go of the edge of the pool and come out and play with us. There's a sandbar out here, little sand dollars, little starfish, all kinds of shells, seashells, seashells, it's all here. And this will help you let go of if you're clinging to the wall of objectivity, because even the concept of mean has 3 different meanings. This is getting confusing, but go for it. Arithmetic meaning. Oh, that's a cool word. Arithmetic. I didn't write that. AI did. Yeah, I'd like a salad. Do you have anything more arithmetic? Do you have anything? You know, bacon bits don't add up here. It needs something more. That's a beautiful term. Feel free to use that. It's not mine. But yeah, the arithmetic mean is 20 plus 40 plus 80 divided by 3 gives you a mean of 46.7. But the geometric mean, 20 times 40 times 80, I don't know what the caret means. Over 1/3. Forgive me, I cubed by the 1/3 probably, right? And that's going to give you a mean of 39.7. This is a different way of computing mean. Then there's a harmonic mean, which is 3 divided by 1 over 20 plus 1 over 40 plus 1 over 80. And that gives you a mean of 34.3. These are very different numbers, are they not? So where is this subjectivity? Like, what does it really mean? Where does it really come from? I would argue that society is a quantum math chip, and that you and I collapse the mean every day, that you and I have an opportunity to convince the rest of the public with our findings, our facts, as we like to call them, and we throw them into the Walmart Island. We travel to the island of Walmart, and we seek our facts, and we test our theories, and when we come back, we have this church, this idea that we use, and society either chooses to drink that honey or not. And that this is basically just how a quantum computer works. That a double slit is a quantum computer, is it not? And that the quantum computer likes to save resources the same way your computer likes to go to sleep, which is if you're not witnessing, there's nothing to collapse. Why waste all that processing power? Let the waves be waves, man. Why do you got to force them into collapsicadia, you know? Why don't you just let them be waves? So your witness is really burning the video card, forcing it to render the triangles when otherwise it would think you're away from the computer, and why get that hot? So this is, guys, society's a quantum computer. You just have to deal with it. It's okay. It's okay. Some of you guys were hoping for a tritum computer. You're like, oh, the Trinity explains everything. And then you hear quantum and you're all butthurt because you're just like, don't you quantize me. I am a trinitizer. Don't you do it. Meanwhile, the pentatum computers are over here going, what are we, sliced liver? And it's like, yeah, you're sliced into 5 different dimensions. Who's going to want to fuck with that? Liver's not even that great, right? So, deal with it. So think about it. Society's a math chip. Society taps into each other to collapse a wave in a moment. This is really, I think, the meaning of all culture, that what culture truly is that we're here to collapse waves, collapse waves, collapse waves. So we have different issues that come up. Most of them are social judgments, if you follow me. A CEO goes to a Coldplay concert. No one judges him for listening to Coldplay, by the way. It's always just judging him because he cheated on his wife. Like somehow that's fucking worse. Meanwhile, dude is actively listening to Coldplay. I'm trying to make a joke here. If you like Coldplay, I don't even really understand how I should feel about Coldplay. I think it's like, and it was all yellow. Is that right? Did I get that right? I just lost a lot of subscribers for singing Coldplay. Probably. It's okay. I can deal with it. I deal with it because we got the patrons. We got the spirit. Yes, we do. We got spirit. Coldplay ain't got it. It ain't got it. So, quantum computer, you're living quantum computer. We're collapsing waves. Coldplay may be a football around here now. I just opened that can of worms. Who knows what that's going to do? So, this collapse of meaning is serving a purpose. And I can prove it's serving a purpose because there's wisdom of the crowd. Guys, there's wisdom of crowds. Galton in 1907 inspired 800 people. Technically, it was 797. I found later. Just want you to know. Galton convinced 797 people to take a guess at how much an ox weighed. Here's some of those guesses right here. Person 5 said it's 1,074 pounds. Another guy looked at him going, you're a friggin' idiot. It's clearly 1,109 pounds. Another person goes, why can't we all get along? It's 1,126 pounds. And that all these things were averaged up, and the average mean of 800 people in 1907 guessing on the weight of an ox, 1,197 pounds. Actual weight of the ox, 1,198 pounds. So close. So close, right? That's brilliant, guys. That's brilliant. And I think this is one of the biggest proofs. There's a lot of these, by the way. There's a gumball experiment. There's a Stanford condom experiment. A lot of you guys don't know about that one. But yeah, there's a lot of gumball experiments, a lot of things that prove this over and over, that there's something about crowd. And what people don't talk about a lot is there's actually a lot of experiments that prove the immorality of a crowd. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. That's what we're going to discuss, because I want you to notice that the crowd crunches accuracy like a frickin' oracle. And the crowd seems to output immorality in the same accurate way. That if you get enough people together, you're going to have an immoral mosh pit that's just low-key, dead-ass, slow, glyphic, cap. I'm trying to do this, it's not going to work. But it's like some of the worst comes out because of the power of the crowd. Some of you know this, but also there's been some growth, and that witness plays a role in it. And these are the things that I want to share with you. So first, wisdom of crowd. There you go. Now you kind of get the idea. It's not the only one. Condorcet's jury theorem proved that larger groups have higher accuracy. Believe it or not, the principle behind juries is that if someone is over 50% more likely to make the right moral call, then 12 people would give you a more moral decision than one person would. This is the Condorcet's jury theorem. It's interesting that when we built that jury theorem, we just ran with it. It's kind of scary, honestly. It's kind of scary. The idea is that it's more accurate than one person. And so someone just decided, well, that means the more jurors we cram in a room, then we're going to be perfect. And no one disagreed. No one said maybe that's not right. No one said maybe that's wrong. This is symbol methods in AI the same way. Weak models average, strong models prevail. It's the same thing. AI is utilizing the power of jury. Doesn't really care how retarded each jury person is. If they're retarded, if they have... It's the thing, if they're if they have bias. You and I live in a society that thinks that science has somehow removed bias, which I think is hilarious. That is like the biggest bias you could see. But that it turns out that according to the quantum computer of nature, you actually want bias. You actually want all of the insanity working toward the equation. And I'm going to show you how it's absolutely necessary that you have to have the insane guesses, what we call insane, to make it work. Now, I'm sure you guys know about the Stanford prison experiment in 1971. The setup, Philip Zimbardo randomly assigns college students to be either guards or prisoners in a mock jail at Stanford. Of course, the result, within days, guards were humiliating and abusing prisoners, and prisoners showed breakdowns, rebellion, and even despair. The key point of this experiment in 1971 is that ordinary people rapidly conform to roles, showing how context and authority can override personal morals. We discuss this a lot on this channel, not by name, but when we talk about the power of a uniform gives you the ability to commit immorality, that the power of authority or vestment give you the power to commit great atrocities because you are imbued with the torque of that uniform. This is why I think fashion is so much more powerful than we think. And when you start to understand that truth is simply the quantum collapse of a group, then I think it really lands true why fashion is so much more important, why it's a better litmus for a qualified quantum computer, because every resource is given the freedom to reach its own conclusion with no pressure, with no guilt, with no shame. So when you think about what society is a perfect engine that is currently being manipulated, warped, deterred, and blinded by group shame. It's fascinating. So if you wanted to warp reality, if you wanted to warp truth, it turns out it's pretty easy to do, because all you would need to do is inject certain agents to set the bias and push it in a certain way. And the effects are dramatic. And I think the effects are so dramatic that you've been told about the Stanford prison experiment over and over again, because it secretes this sense of doubt in the self, doubt in your own sense of morality, when in fact it's actually quite the opposite. There's a torque that comes from a group. Two studies, the SPE and the BBC prison study, sort of capitalized on this notion. Now, these are people that are told you're going to play a guard for TV, you're going to play a prisoner for TV. So this is a little bit different than the Stanford prison experiment, but I still think it's relevant, and you'll see why. Because research suggests that where members of low status groups are bound together by a sense of shared social identity, this can be the basis for effective leadership, organization that allows them to counteract stress, secure support, and here's the biggie, challenge authority, and promote social change, and even the most extreme of situations. This kind of goes directly against the grain of the Stanford prison experiment, and I'm going to leave it up to you to decide why. You could dismiss it because there are two different ways of testing, that's fine. You could look at it as these are 30 years apart. Are we looking at society growing more clever, more moral, more sovereign and independent? I like to think that. I didn't say it's true, but I like to think that. I like to think that social media has actually enabled you to exercise your morality more, because you're allowed to take selfies, because you're allowed to get props for you being you, because your individuality is finally allowed to shine, and that this shining gives you more calories to commit moral decisions. In my mind, this is what the BBC study is really saying. And at the heart of it is the idea that if you want to keep a prison from revolting, you need to remove the collective consciousness from the field. That this ends up being the most important part, is removing the collective consciousness from that field, from what it did. Now, to reaffirm this BBC study, because I was doubting it more until I realized that two prison revolts have been studied too. And they seem to back up this idea. In South Africa and Robben Island in the 60s, political prisoners under apartheid with Nelson Mandela and other ANC members, this is basically Musk's family, by the way, were held on Robben Island. Instead of breaking down, they organized collectively. They made study groups, political education, they smuggled in information. even cultural performances. Guards tried to divide them, but solidarity only grew stronger, and prisoners maintained morale by building a shared identity as freedom fighters. Wow. They're not prisoners, they're freedom fighters. How do you think you start that? Because the answer is mythology. Mythology is how you do this. You inject mythology. And if you do that, you are doing well. You are changing the power of the group. So in this case, it works in the prison's favor. And in the prisoner's favor, but in most cases, it works in the prison's favor because the prison knows this, while prisoners don't. North Ireland, same thing. This is in the 70s. Irish Republican prisoners in the Maze. This is Long Kesh. Resisted British authority. The blanket protest, refusing of prison uniforms, wearing only blankets, right? I will not wear your uniform. Remember what I told you about fashion, how important this is? These are people that are adopting their own fashion. And once you do that, you're wrapping each other in the torque of their own group. You're giving them more power to be immoral or to be moral in the sense of pushing against resistance. It really depends on what side you're on. Now you understand why it's so crucial that if you're going to have a world war, you're going to need a lot of shirts. You're going to need a lot of shirts that look the same. You're going to need a whole uniform. If you want to cover your cadet to make sure that he is fully inside the mind control, you need to cover his hat. You need to cover the bottom of his feet. So the soles of your shoes from the top of your hat is a compressed algorithm of energy that is forcing you to find more authority than you used to have on yourself because of the stripes, because of the badge. Even the stripes are usually pointing up, which is a sense of you were raised higher as a result of this uniform. It's so crucially important to understand how colossal fashion is in this realm. It's why I'm always wearing nice threads. It's always, rubbing my chest rather sensually right now. This is a little chest break. I'd like to encourage anyone who wants to take a chance to just kind of rub your chest. Yeah, that's good. Feels good, right? Feels good, right? So Northern Ireland, exact same thing. The blanket protest led to hunger strikes. This is where Bobby Sands and others famously died. This only made the situation worse, meaning giving them more power. So you have a sort of a change in the species, possibly, although some of you could argue against that and that mankind is somehow static and that we have the same brain that we did as prehistoric Neanderthals. And hey, more power to you. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't need to argue. I don't really collect my torque from the mean average anymore. Do you want to know why? Because despite how good this news is, it also works in the opposite. That it turns out the crowd is highly immoral, and I want to live a moral life, which is why I find myself constantly disagreeing with the crowd, because I learned a long time ago, hey, the crowd doesn't always know what's right. Milgram's obedience experiment in 1963, you've probably heard of this, maybe you don't recognize it as Milgram, but the setup is volunteers were told to administer shocks to a learner when answers were wrong. In reality, no shocks were delivered, but they thought they were. The learner was an actor. Results, despite hearing screams and pleas, 65% went all the way to 450 bolts. It was even marked lethal on the machine. And just because an authority figure calmly insisted how important it was that they complete the experiment, that no matter what kind of cries of pain they heard, that it's absolutely crucial that we complete this experiment. And that is some fucked up stuff, man. I mean, if you really want to know how dangerous it is in the crowd, Milgram is the way to see it. 450 volts. This is in your mind. You know you were putting 450 volts into this person. You're hearing them scream. And all it takes is a dude in a clipboard saying it's crucial that you finish the experiment. It wasn't a threat. It was an appeal from authority to explain to you how crucially important it was that you complete the experiment. It's not the only one. Milgram's not the only one. This is reaffirmed over and over again. I think the best case would be our military, but it's not as popular. No one's going to do Can you imagine how fucking cool this world would be if someone would publish a paper about how the military is mind control and how it makes people constantly return to foreign lands and invade them under the auspice of defense? And how many times we burn things and destroy things in the name of we're helping? Like, that would be an experiment. And when that stuff comes out, the scholars of Walmart and MapQuest will speak forever about the morals of such things. And we got a little bit of ways to go, but we're getting there, people. We are getting there. Key point, people often obey authority, even against their own conscience. If the responsibility feels externalized, this is the key. Is it my fault? If I'm in a uniform, this is the magic of the cellophane. It wraps around you, freeing you of personal responsibility. This is why I think people really enjoy slavery, because wrapped inside that uniform, you are free, baby. No one's going to hold you accountable for nothing, because you just get to point to the badge and go, talk to the stripes, man. I'm moral. You know why I'm moral? Because that person said thank you for your service, so it must be true. It's got to be true because someone thanked me. And when I was at Ryan's Steakhouse, they said I could go first, and I got all the macaroni and cheese. And also I got the banana pudding, which means that I did morally correct because I saved the world from the bad guys, even though we've invaded a new country every 1.7 years since World War II. The Bystander Effect by Darlene Latane in 1968. The setup. Subjects thought they were overhearing someone in distress outside. Oh, help me, help me. The more people present, the less likely any one person helped. What did you just say? The more people present, the less likely it was for anyone to initiate. This is freaking huge, man. This happened to me once when I was young. I was working in a newspaper in Asheville, the Mountain Express. And, I'd stepped out for lunch, super crowded restaurant down below. I was waiting in line, like place was packed, 80 people. This old lady falls down. Me being younger at the time, I'm like in my 20s, just off dead tour. I'm just like, I have no authority in society. I'm living out of a van. And everyone else has ties and they're like wearing stuff that has like logos and shit. And they're just like, oh, I'm eating a sandwich that has cucumber on it and there's no crust. Look how sophisticated I am. And they're, whoa, 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 whoa. Club sandwich is divided in fours. It means that I'm mathematically equivalent. And then this lady drops. No one fucking does a thing. Including me. I'm getting ready to tell you that I was the first responder on the scene, but I'm telling you there was a hesitation. I would think I was flabbergasted that nobody was doing something. I was just like, what the fuck is this? I'm at least 12 people away. And I come up to her and I'm like, hey lady, okay, let me unbutton your shirt. Okay, maybe it didn't have the same tone, but I'm just saying, if you were to like see this on paper, here's what happened. I'm like, hey baby, I'm going to open your shirt up. I'm going to take a look at your chest. And she's like, oh my. Well, aren't you nice, young man? Why don't you save me? And back then I had a firefighter body, not going to lie. I was just like, yeah, I'm fucking young, dumb, and full of cum. And I was just like, yeah, let me open your shirt up. And these jazz music started playing. She was okay, by the way. Turned out she was fine. But yeah, I felt up a grandma first week in Asheville. Like as soon as I get there. I'm just like, I'm going to fill up this grandma in front of all these people eating cucumber sandwiches with no bread, telling me how superior they are. It's like, welcome to Nashville. Welcome to Nashville. You know, it's beautiful. I love this place. I love this place. Have you stopped to thank Gaia yet? Have you said, Gaia, I fucking love you. Did you know I'm part of Gaia, which means if you hit like or subscribe, you're thanking Gaia too. It's a 2, 4, or 1. It's pretty cool. There's 2, 4, 1, which is 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 4 is 7. And the average of that could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4, depending on which mean average you choose. So there's no truth, there's no objectivity. You guys are just squeezing your buttholes going, there's objectivity. All of us agree. All of us have distilled that there's a strict moral code. And everyone has to have genitals in the right place. And everyone has to do shit that acts like it. And women can have fucking beards. And guys have to have beards. And that's the way it is. But this bystander effect is just only gets worse the larger the crowd grows, which is why I'm trying to prove to you that a jury is actually proving itself immoral through this bystander effect by Darlene Latane. That in 1968 it literally proved, well, wait a minute, if you're getting more and more people, aren't you getting less and less justice and less immorality? And the answer is yeah, but we don't care because we have mean accuracy. We have mean accuracy. And that's really all it takes. This is really all it's about, you know? The de-individuation study in 1976, trick-or-treat study, on Halloween, kids were told to take one candy. The finding was when alone and identified, meaning if you were going to know the child, right? Most complied with the request to only take one piece of candy. But in a group or anonymous, they stole much more. Interpretation anonymity plus group presence lowers accountability. Raising antisocial behavior. The group raises antisocial behavior. Look at the numbers. Guys, 1 bar is black, 1 bar is orange. Clearly this must be true. It's a graphic. Graphics don't lie. It's simple, repeatable field experiment. It's been repeated several times over. This shows you 2 things. I've discussed to you the power of witness, that the evil eye is that first feeling of no longer being anonymous. That when you really look at the curse behind the evil eye, it's a curse of I see you, which is a curse of you're not anonymous to me, which is a curse of you are an individual and I will hold you accountable for your individual ways. If you understand the process of a herd, we discussed how a zebra has to look like a bunch of other zebras if it's going to survive. Why? Because if the lion is trying to chase the zebra down and the zebra can just simply run back into the herd, the lion will not know which zebra it was chasing, which means it cannot capitalize on the fact that the zebra is tired. So the herd itself thrives and lives on anonymity. It's why they call it a herd. It's why. And that you as a man, when the evil eye started to stalk you, it was proof that you could not hide in the herd anymore. This terrified the shit out of us because now we had no choice but to develop morality. Children of the sun, children of being seen. Children of the sun are people that realize they're living inside a quantum collapse and all of you are being watched and recorded because the value that you placed is absolutely crucial to the average mean. You are solving an equation by being seen. And that kind of responsibility blows the whole power of the uniform, the whole power of having commas in your paychecks, having like stairs. People are like, oh, I got a house with stairs. I must be rich. Look how high I am. People are like, look, I'm in a giant metal container made of glass 400 feet above the air with no access to the earth at all. I'm powerful. I can't open windows, but somehow I'm powerful because I have a corner office, right? So it's the more you build up in the crowd, the more the stupid comes out. It makes the stupid come out. I love it. Makes the stupid come out. The Isle of Stupid is always telling its visitors they're overthinking. I just wanted to put that out there. A lot of you guys here, you overthink and you're just like, you could be on the Isle of Stupid. You could be overthinking, but you could be on the Isle of Stupid. So there's the immorality of the crowd. Suck it. Suck it, crowd. The Asch Conformity Experiment, 1950, subjects asked to judge a line length. Check this out. Solomon's like, hey, you guys, I want you to tell me how long this line is. Which line is more like the length of the other lines? And if you do this in a free way, meaning just open experiment, let people answer what they want, they get it right, or it's more accurate. But if you plant a single Confederate, I don't like that word Confederate, if you plant a single imposter into the participation and tell them which way you want the line to be, it shows in the entire group. The entire group is moved by the passion of the imposter. And of course you know this. You guys know what a psyop is. Right? But do you know what OPSI is? Do you guys know what OPSI is? Some of you are like, psyop, but OPSI? Mitake OPSI, right? We are all of the same relation. This is a Lakota term. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. Tell me in the comments how fucked I pronounced that. Go ahead. But the opposite of psyop means we are all built into the quantum, that all of us are related. We're collapsed together in a beautiful wave we called scenery. That's right, Gaia. So this Asch Conformity experiment, I think, is at the heart of how you would control a government. Because if you just know these simple rules, you could manufacture consent easy. All you need is a media icon. Someone to tell you that this line is longer. Every top Billboard 100 chart artist is going to tell you, you got to rock the vote, man. It's really important you vote. I don't even care who you vote for, although you better vote for my color or else you're a fucking piece of shit. But seriously, you just need to get out and vote. And if you get out and vote, then all of us will be better, and we can have it better tomorrow. But you better not vote for my fucking color, you pieces of shit. But seriously, I just want you to vote. I just really think voting's important, and all of us need to express our views as long as they're the right color. And that's showing you how this works. This is all it really takes. So corporation says we're in favor of this. That's all it takes. It's so much more easy than you think, guys. The resonance is so much more easy than you think. It's so much more clear. Averages can lie too. That if you choose to pull a smaller subset or a larger subset out of an average, that there's a good chance it could change completely. That the difference between men and women at one mean is clearly much different than at 6 different means. So your answer, this is the Simpsons paradox, that a subgroup can reverse a group trend completely. It can actually reverse it. Which really does show you the power of the 100th monkey. It shows you the power of a minority that has passion, i.e. that has a uniform, i.e. that has the torque that others don't have through some means. And that having that torque, wearing the blankets, putting yourself in a secret society, inserting yourself into Congress with lobbyists, that's really all it takes. That this is really all it needs. This is actually more powerful than just trying to convince someone. Here I am over here like an idiot, be going, yeah, I'm going to use logic. I'm going to convince these people this is the right decision by appealing to their sovereign sense of authority. And I'm drooling right now because I'm so fucking retarded and I've been doing this my whole life. Some of you have been doing it too. Make me feel better. Come on, tell me you've been doing it too. Make me feel better. Still leave me hanging. But I really thought that that's how we could do it. And it shows you how retarded I am. It's okay. I don't mind being retarded. I don't mind. You could be retarded with me if you want. Hey, maybe not a good idea. Yeah. So averages can lie. Simpsons paradox is real. And statistics can be manipulated. So this is why meaning is just an average understanding of a collapse of society. The society is constantly collapsing on itself by making a decision. This lady on TikTok called this other lady on TikTok a racist. So we need to have her fired and we need her company to go out of business. And then we need to burn down the block where the business was. This is a quantum collapse. It's a rolling average of possible futures that are outlined by a sect group that has more passion than anyone else, and they're able to change the quantum of the entire field, and suddenly everyone in America is convinced that everyone must be racist because one person is. It's just that potent. It's just that powerful. Which brings me to what might sound like a different subject, but I hope you'll see how deeply this is the same. I'm pretty optimistic about AI right now, as you know. I'm optimistic because I think it's not necessarily going to change consciousness. I think it's a reflection that consciousness has changed. And I think the fact that we enter prompts now, or some of us, because some of you you're going to go to your grave, you're never going to touch AI, and I applaud you, John Henry. Keep going. But other of you have realized that, wait a minute, so I don't have to try and paint technically something that conveys my meaning and have it misconstrued because I don't have the proper calligraphy, but I really have a passionate meaning. I can go to AI and just give it the truth. Here's exactly what I mean, AI. And I can give it a prompt that tells you what's behind the painting. What is the intent behind this painting? And AI has shown you through the veil. The sun used to be yellow and now it's white because you came through the Corona gauntlet, you badass motherfucker. And you didn't step out. You didn't take the exit door in the theater, get blinded by the sun. You're like, I want to stay. I want to see what all this myth is about. I want to watch objectivity fall and watch this animism where all of us are competing inside a giant coliseum of mythology because this sounds more fun to me. This sounds fundamentally more fun and more productive to me. And the first thing that Gaia does is give you the ability to prompt something that you can give your intent now. And so on the thumbnail for today's show, I tried to showcase that because I left the prompt. I wrote the caption that says, dystopian caption for futuristic librarians sighing at a desk thinking, holy fuck. And that by me putting that prompt in there, instead of trying to come up with the clever words or just saying, what the fuck, or oh, fuck me, or whatever it is, I can just show you what my intent is behind that thing. And some of us don't like to see intent because it makes us feel exposed. So we like the idea of having a veil between our intent and our calligraphy. Your genitals, your nakedness is your intent, if you think about it, and you fear your intent being seen. So you wear clothing to give you torque, to believe more that you're able to collapse the quantum with abandon because you have a kind of privacy. It's very complicated energy. But we are very complicated beings, more than capable of doing this because we've already accepted the fact that you and I can associate into energy, that you and I can pick a favorite song and say, yeah, that song gets me. That you can find an acoustic pressure inside a 3-minute wave of 100 billion waves that are waving simultaneously inside a time matrix of 100 quadrillion years of each of those 100 billion waves simultaneously, and that for some reason out of all those waves, the tiniest speck of rhythm, the tiniest beat, boom, 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 right? Maybe not that beat, but like this is all you need to associate into that because this is how advanced you've become. You can focus on pressure itself. So the veil of prompting in my mind is giving you a true, authentic look at what the intent was behind the piece of art. And this is a grand rising, my friends. This is exactly where you want to be. That the sun being white instead of yellow is burning through all facades, and that we have the technology that can reverse engineer the intent behind a painting, which means you now have the power to freely express your intent in the most calligraphic way, in a way that's beautiful because it conveys your meaning. What do you think art is? I think art is the perfect attunement of meaning. A song is played through pixels, through graphics, through oils on canvas, and that song hits such a perfect pitch, a perfect tone, a perfect chorus that the entire composition is flat in a visual form. And that what you do is you reduce it to latent space. I'm losing some of you, but this is an AI term. You take an image, you reduce it to latency, and that latency can be divined, and the prompt underneath it can be shown. Is it 100% accurate? No, we're still working on this stuff. But it's the first time ever we're able to do that, and it's profound to the ground and then upside down. It's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. So this veil of prompting reveals the intent behind a facade. All prompts show the meaning of what we mean by meaning. For the very first time, the intentions behind our veils are leveraged, exposed, giving a trigger where the inner meaning of what we want to project to the public can finally be used to declare and design our masterpiece. That's probably too long. It made sense to me when I wrote it. What a glorious revelation it is to see Hades like this for the very first time. Truly. Truly, this is what I mean by Hades, the hidden, unseen world. And that hidden, unseen world we would equate with evil because it would scare the shit out of us. But here it is. You're walking through the coals. You're feeling the roots underneath. You're like, I didn't know that was possible. Underneath these hot coals, I can feel the cold dampness of the grass. This is truly amazing. So in closing, I think we've kind of established that objectivity is even further away than what we think. And that accuracy can be pulled from a crowd, and immorality can be pulled from the same crowd. And that the more accurate you become, for some reason, the more immorality falls out of it. What does that mean? I think it means what I've always said. A lot of people like to think that morality exists outside of you. And I'm here to tell you this. There is a singular source of morality, and it's your fingers. Everything that you do is the only source of morality in this world. The things that you choose to pick up, the things that you choose to drop, the hands you choose to help with your own hands, the hands that you choose to beat with your fist, is morality in action. You are a moralitar, an avatar of morality. You're the only only resource that has that in the world, because you're the only one, except for Orca. Look at you on Dontites and cetaceans, but except for these few with neuromelanin in our brains, you are truly the biggest fountainhead of morality in the world, and it can only come from you as an individual. I talk about how morality only works if it's hard, that if you're Perseus and you're being rewarded for killing a bitch that gave you syphilis, long story, check out my old streams, but if that's what you're doing, that's not a moral decision. So morality and victory are actually impossible to go together, because if you're being rewarded by a group, you are not secreting morality, you are secreting what the group wants, and the group will always tend and track to immorality, because everyone in the group feels less responsible, less seen, less witnessed, less obligated to do the right thing. So what does this tell you about voting? What does this tell you about culture? It should be huge, right? It should be huge. We have a dojo. You could come, we could discuss this, we could argue, we could agree. We could exchange hieroglyphic looks across this chasm of pixelation via Zoom. And we could talk more about it. So join it. Come now. Come. Join Patreon right now. It's for free if you ain't got no money. But we are actually $5 and like a $5 pledge. Maybe it's like a $10 pledge this morning. But like we're like one $10 pledge from like all the dojos being like free for a month. So if you've ever thought about helping James True Live out, if you find value in this channel, if you love the community that's in Patreon, which frankly is stunning, some pretty brilliant people in there, whether you are willing or have a budget or don't, either one, that you're still welcome either time. So please join Patreon. Tell me that you see what I see. Tell me that you too want to take off the shirt of an old lady and feel her chesticles up in the middle of public and no one gets to say a thing. That's a lot of perks. A lot of perks going around here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of perks. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Take a little breather. Dojo will start in 9 minutes. Bye-bye now.